Hey guys, welcome to the Wrestling Guy podcast. I'm right here with the Butcher, the great co-host.
David, do you have to shout my freaking ear?
Yes, I do.
Oh, goodness, now I'm deaf. But anyways, we're in for a good ride today because we have a very special, awesome guest.
I heard it's a hot ride.
It's going to be a hot ride. Get ready to be on a hot speed ride. And plus, we have the promoter himself here beside her. We have Mr. Bart Perez Kapatsky. Am I correct?
You fucked up again.
Oh, goodness. That's the third time already.
You see, this is why Robbie E. does not like you.
Fuck Robbie.
Because you called him Bobby E. But we have the beautiful Lufisto.
Yeah.
I was going to give you the Lufisto.
Yeah.
I heard you had a very interesting flight and morning.
Yeah, like I never sleep when I fly. I just can't. And this morning I was flying Southwest, and I was one of the last to get on the plane, and I was lucky enough there was that nice aisle seat in the front. I'm like, this is gonna be great. So I sit down, fall asleep, and not too long after, like, we land. I'm like, did I sleep all the way for 2 hours? I was scheduled to go to Denver, and it smells funny. And then we look outside, fire trucks, policemen, like, what the hell's going on? And then they stop. We have to make an unscheduled stop in Indianapolis. We're sorry about that. It's like, what's going on? And then we see all the fire trucks coming. I'm like, what the hell? And then they, when they finally have everybody calm down because we didn't know what was going on, they're like, well, we had to stop because we lost the oil in the right engine, and the right engine just stopped, and then it was burning. I'm like, oh, okay, and that's what happened.
What were you thinking when you were witnessing all of this?
I was like, I was so calm because I was having the greatest sleep I ever had in my life, and I was confused.
I thought maybe you were having a little what do you call it, a little liquor bar that they kind of like doze off like Mike will.
I was like, what's going on? And then they like, okay, we have to reschedule some flights. And I was like, mine has to be one because there's no way I'm making it in time for my flight in Denver. And then they were talking about, oh, we'll probably, fix it and go back. It's like, I don't want to stay in the plane. And then you see all the firefighters waiting for, like, this thing's going to blow up. I'm like, then, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes after, like, this plane is non-functional. I'm like, yeah, right, because they tried again and started, and it smelled like it was about to blow. I'm like, let me at it.
This was Southwest.
I would have jumped out the window.
Yeah, that was Southwest, but they honestly were so quick in putting everybody in other flights. I literally got out of the plane, got in the plane, flew to Phoenix, then LAX. And they didn't miss, like, my luggage was here. So props to Southwest. Like, I got here safe, but that was kind of, I can't even say it was scary because I was so confused waking up and that. Like, what's this?
I'll probably hit you tomorrow morning, then, when you realize what just fucking happened.
And then you see, that's why I don't fly. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Just get the train. No, never mind.
That would be a long ride.
So, tell us from the ground up, what made you want to become a wrestler?
Like, my first memory of wrestling was me watching with my grandma. That was back in the day. I was like maybe 6 years old. I really liked The Ultimate Warrior. My grandma was more of a Hulk Hogan fan. And I've watched it since then, and I liked Jake Roberts. And then I just stopped because I was into music. I was playing bass, and I was singing in a band.
Okay.
And I played baseball and football, but I was not really into sport. I've always been more of an artist. I was drawing. I won contests drawing, and then started playing music. And I had this band, and my drummer was like, you have to see this. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy, he walks out of the grave, and then he's fighting the guy from Japan. Like, what the hell is that? And then I look at it, he was talking about The Undertaker. And there was this feud with Yokozuna back then with the casket match. I was like, my God, this is so cool. I literally fell in love with The Undertaker because he was so much more than a wrestler. He had that character, that like they call him the Phenom for a reason, the presence and everything. I just got hooked so much on him. I would buy everything from The Undertaker. I would buy stuff, like, I lived in Canada back then, so I had to order and stuff, and like we didn't have pay-per-view, so I had to wait for Coliseum home videos to release them. Like, oh, it's so long.
That's how I was too, like Coliseum videos.
Like, this is so long. And while I was watching The Undertaker, it was also like 94 was the time where Alundra Blaze was the women's champion. And I knew Luna because in Quebec the Vachons were so big, like Mad Dog and his sister Viviane, and Luna was his niece. And just got hooked at Alundra Blaze, and especially when Bull Nakano came in, I'm like, she is such a badass. And I was a bigger girl. I was like 200 pounds, pure fat. Like I said, not really into sport. And when I saw Bull Nakano, and then my friend was like, when my friend Luke was like, you have to see Japanese wrestling. It's even better than that. Like, really? Then we would order tapes from, I don't know who was selling tapes back then, but we were old VHS. So we would watch Japanese wrestling. That's where I saw for the first time Manami Toyota, Ayako Omada, and my favorite was Akira Okuto. And I just got hooked, and that's really where I said, like, I want to do this. They're so badass.
Go ahead.
And you started training at 17.
Yeah.
And what did your parents think when at 17? That's pretty young.
It was young, yeah. And the funny thing about the training school is, like, my own town has that local school where 4 wrestlers opened up the school. They were not known, mostly local wrestlers, and all my friends, guys, wanted to join in, and I'm like, I want to try it too. It's like, oh, you're a little small for wrestling, and they didn't really say, but you're a little fat for wrestling. It's like, I was small, I was fat. It's like, and my stepfather was like, this is not for girls. To the girl who played baseball and football, was the only girl in the league, but still, it's like, this is not for girls, you're going to get hurt, you can't do this, and I was so pissed off at him, and like, I got this, proved this guy wrong. And even when I showed up to the school, the teacher was like, wrestling is a lot tougher than it actually looks. Like, I don't care. And like, I wanted to prove people wrong so bad. My mom was like, she didn't know what it was. To her, wrestling was like, especially women wrestling was like women in jello and gravy and strippers, like, and I was like, no, that's not what it is. It's like fighting. I'm like, ugh. It's like, okay, she's gonna actually get involved in the sport. So she paid for my classes. She's like, she's actually gonna do something with her fat ass. So I joined the school, and I learned pretty quickly. I was like, I don't recall my first bump, but I think the first day I was able to bump correctly. I was learning so fast, and every time he would show something new, I was like, always lifting, like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I wanted to be, I'm the only girl here. I'm going to show you guys. Like, it's always been about proving myself, and because they doubted me from day one, whether it's family or friends or haters or whatever. So yeah, prove people wrong. So that's how it started.
How long did it took you to start from your training to do your first show?
Actually,
and if you remember the name of your opponent.
Yeah, my first opponent, her name was Sophia the Queen. She was from a local wrestler for Drummondville, Quebec. And it took me, I think after 3 months I was in the ring, because they needed a girl. Mm-hmm. There was not that many girls in my area, and they needed a girl. So I met this wrestler, and we practiced the match, and the day of the show, I would call her stuff that we were supposed to do, and she would say no. And then change the match on the spot because she changed her mind, and I was freaking out, like, oh my god! And just before I got out of my music was playing, there was a bunch of wrestlers that threw water on me, and there's one actually spit on me, and they were like, "You're never gonna last in this, you fucking blah blah blah." I'm like, ah. this is how it starts.
It's tough in Canada.
I'm like, this is how it starts. And then I go out, and then she doesn't want to do the spots. Like, I'm like, God damn it. We practiced, and I'm so confused. But now that, I look at it, because I have a copy of it somewhere, considering it's the first match and knowing all the background of this match, it's not that bad. But I was like, I'm like, but I wish I had a lot more training going into my first match, because the fact that there was no girls just got thrown in there, and a lot of what I know, I just learned. Every match I would learn something, because I would keep training, but then the school closed, and I moved to Montreal, and I tried to train somewhere else, and there was no one for a short period of time until, fortunately, I was so lucky that I met, there was a wrestler by the name of Eric Shelley, and he's one of the first guys that were involved into, back then was the lightweight championship at WWE, WWF back then. He was one that was in the tournament with Brian Christopher. And,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. His father had been wrestling for years for Grand Prix Wrestling, International Wrestling. His name was Len Kojak Shelley. And he saw me. I was always wrestling the same girl in Quebec, and I was kind of frustrated because I wanted to learn, I wanted to gain experience, and I was working some of the boys, but a lot of promoters were like, oh, girls can't work boys, like, how do you want me to get better if I always work the same person? And he saw that. He took me aside. It's like, you know who you remind me of? I'm like, no, sir. It's like, I was friend with Viviane Vachon, and you have the same fire. I was like, wow. It's like, I'm going to take you under my wing. You're going to train with my son.
Nice.
And he took me under his wing, and I trained with his son, Eric. And that's really where I think it all really started for me. Like, my first teachers gave me such a good, like, the basics were really good, but he took me to another level because he saw something in me that even I couldn't see.
When you did your first match, what was your ring name?
It was Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Yeah, because it started because my first ever wrestling appearance was my teacher back then had that gimmick where he was the devil's machine. So I was like, Lucifer fits, like, you know. So I kept the name. It was like I was a heel too, so it's, you know, it's mean. So a French girl by the name of Lucifer. And I later kind of tweaked the name where I split Lucy from Fur, and yeah, that was the first first gimmick.
Now you had a lot of names. You had Lucifer and Luscious Lucy, and then
Precious Lucy.
Precious Lucy, which you told us off air. If you want to tell everybody how you got that name.
Yeah, actually, Precious Lucy came before Luscious, and I was working for the Mountie Jacques Rougeau, and he's like, oh, I'm not sure about that name, Lucifer. I looked like Marilyn Monroe back then, like, not physically wise, but I mean, I had the same hair, and I lost a little bit of weight, and he's like, you look like Marilyn, you have to change something, Lucifer doesn't fit, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't think about it. So one day I'm just browsing, like, I'm in the newspaper, and I'm reading the newspaper in the sports section, and then I see there's an ad of a show, and I'm reading, and then it says, Precious Lucy versus Amanda Storm. Like, who's Precious Lucy? And then there's my face right next to the name. I'm like, he changed my name. And like, Precious, really? I'm like, that sucks. No, it's like Precious with the Garvins stuff, old school. I'm like, okay. But then it was everywhere in the newspaper. He would go on TV, talk about me, because I was the only female wrestler in Quebec at this point. Wow. And I was like, all right, I stuck with the name. And when I went to the state, they're like, oh, we're going to call you Luscious. They kind of tweaked it. I'm like, I didn't know what Luscious mean back then, because I was French girl, like, whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to argue. Like, yeah, so I got stuck with the name. Yeah.
How was it working for Jacques Rougeau?
Jacques he's a hell of a character. Like, he's big on his image. He has to be the front star. He wants to take credit for everything. The good thing about Jacques, though, he's really good with the media. So he taught me a lot about how to deal with interviews, how to deal with promos. Like, he's really a big media guy. He's good at selling whatever. He could sell you anything, that's for sure. Jacques could sell you, I don't want to say a pile of shit, but he probably could. He probably could. The thing, though, with Jacques is, like, there was no girls, didn't really want to bring some, so I was like, Jacques, I've been working guys for years now. Well, 2 years. And I've been to the States, to Ontario, I've been moving a little bit, and he's like, oh, I don't know. And then, we do something where we're going to work a guy, but you're going to lose a haircut match, and we're going to shave your head. And I'm like, ugh. I was working as a manager in a store. I'm like, I'm going to lose my shoe job. I can't do that. Oh, no, you're going to be known around the world. It's like, I don't think so. I'm like, I need to pay my bills. And then after he asked all of his people to only work for him, but he was producing 3 shows a year. I'm like, to me, it's always about getting better, learning, get experience. I was like, I can't get better 3 shows a year.
Right.
Oh, you'll practice. It's not the same than working to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I left. He was pretty bitter about it, but when I saw him later, like, I think he understood. But yeah, I couldn't work. I think you need, especially when you start, you need to work as much as you can with different kind of opponents so you get that experience. I could not get that with Jacques.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
I saw him maybe twice since, but no, not really. I think I've seen his brother Raymond more often. Yeah, Raymond's such a gentleman. He's actually like the mayor of a city now. Yeah. He's
complete opposite.
Oh, he's such a gentleman, like Raymond, and that's funny because in history he was known as the badass, but he was the quiet one. But you wouldn't want everybody who talks about Raymond is like, you don't want to get punched by Raymond.
I mean, in Canada, we all know Bret Hart was the. Is it really the way they portrayed it on?
Bret Hart was. He was big, but it was more of a Western thing. Like in Quebec, it was more the Vachon and the Rougeaus, because there was a big family tradition. Like, they were dynasties. You got Johnny Rougeau, which was Jacques' uncle, was wrestling. His father, Jacques. The 3 brothers, actually, Armand, Jacques, and Ray were all wrestlers. Now Jacques' 3 sons are wrestling. So it's really a family thing when it comes to the Rougeaus. And back then, Johnny Rougeau was selling the Montreal Forum. Like, there was the 2 biggest stars in history back then were the Rocket Maurice Richard and Johnny Rougeau. They were so big, and Yvon Robert was another big name. Like, wrestling and hockey back then, they would sell out the Forum back then.
Looking back, how did it feel to be one of the first females in an all-guy sport?
Yeah, it was tough because being the only female, a lot of them wanted to test me. So every time I would get in the ring, not every time, but most of the time, they would stretch me, punch me as hard as they could just to see, either to tell me I didn't belong in there or to see, you really want to do this, let us, see how tough you are and if you can handle it. So I just powered through every match, and for me, every time I got injured, I was getting back in the ring. And today, now that if I knew then what I know now, like, I was wrestling her all the time. My ACL got destroyed. My meniscus. My meniscus were really bad until my ACL got destroyed completely. But I would tape my knee, go in the ring because I didn't want to show them weakness. Like, to me, it was so important that they would see me as an equal. Like, you're an athlete, I'm an athlete, I'm training to do this, I want the same respect. So I wouldn't tell when I was hurt. I would try to hide it as much as I can. I've worked injured so many times just to prove people that I did belong in there. Today, I see the girls, and it's still the same, but I don't think it's as bad as that generation, because now I see men versus women all the time, and they, like, back then I had to fight the commission in Ontario because they wouldn't let me fight a guy. It was like in the law. I'm like, no, this is against human right. You can't tell me what to do or not to do because I'm a woman. So I fought them legally for 4 years until I killed the commission. But it's different times, I guess.
What'd your parents say finally when they saw you in the ring, or did they go see you in the ring?
My father passed away when I was 2, but my mom, she came to one of my matches and she couldn't stay, or she would go like, oh no, and then a few years later she went to a Rougeau show. She stayed the whole time, but my grandma couldn't watch, so she left. And that's funny, like years later, it was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. We're having that show in Montreal. I'm like, Mom, you have to see it. And then my cousins and my uncles and everybody, and my mom's boyfriend's like, we need to see this. It was an all-women's show. I was like, we got to see this. So my mom's like, all right. And then she goes, and my families are screaming. And it's funny because my grandma was screaming, come on, kill her! My shoot, she was screaming my shoot name. I'm like, and my mom's like, Lufisto. Oh. Okay. And then she would scream my shoot name again. And I completely forgot my mom was in attendance. So I do the first match with Cat Power. We had a gimmick going where it would end up in a main event match. It was me and cheerleader Melissa versus Calamity and Cat Power. And one of the spots was I was giving a DVD to Cat Power into a table from the apron. And I swear to God, I did not plan it this way. I put the table right in front of my mom. And I forgot she was there. And then go through the table. There's a picture of her going, it's so funny because you see the fear in her eyes, and then right next to her boyfriend's like, ah, like he's smiling and enjoying. I'm like, oh man, it's one of the greatest pictures.
Well, don't feel bad that your grandma couldn't stay through your match, because nobody can stay through Butcher's
matches.
Did
last time.
Oh, good, there he goes.
Last time she came, she did, and she, like I said, she was screaming my shoot name, come on, kill her! I'm like, oh Jesus.
Now, after from Canada, when you came to the United States, what was the first territory that you went to?
The first territory was like really early in my career. It was I wrestled for ETWA, which was in Vermont. I did Green Mountain Wrestling as well in Vermont. I did EWA in Maine, and they had also shows in EWA was Tony Atlas's back then.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I saw a documentary of that. He actually did one.
I'm actually in that documentary.
Are you
There's
really?
a little blonde girl who's like,
oh, good.
I don't know what's going on. And then you hear Tony says, anybody have a cell phone? Well, I'm that girl. You see me I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, we travel, we don't get paid. And we're like, yeah, paying your dues. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in that documentary because I was at that show.
See, small world.
Yeah, that's why I look into it. I'm like, wow, look at Tony Atlas had his own thing going on.
Yeah. That was like 1998, 1999.
Yeah, I was about to say it was like around the late 90s.
So that was my first experience in the States, and after that, most of my matches were in Ontario, whatever. So for the Hardcore Wrestling Federation, and in Quebec, I was wrestling for ICW, and that's where the hardcore started for me. Because they're like, you want to fight the guys, you can do it. They just throw me in there with the biggest heel of the company, and then we started fighting in the crowd, and then using the guardrails, and then he was throwing chairs. People went nuts. Like, there was almost a riot. I'm like, I like this. And that's how the hardcore, like, I didn't plan hardcore. It just happened.
Right.
And then the blood everywhere. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was all the internet, well, what was internet back then at the time. I'm like, and the States, though, because I went, like, mostly Canada. I went to Mexico after that, where I wrestled for NJX, Lucha Libre Femenil, and I was wrestling also for, I started wrestling for IWS in Montreal, and IWS had that thing going with CZW, and I was teaming with Sexy Eddie, who had just, like, been in the tournament of death, drinking his own blood, and they're like, oh yeah. And so they brought a bunch of Canadians. That's funny, they would call us the Canadians. I'm like, we didn't have a name, we were the Canadians. It was me, El Generico, Kevin Steen, Frankie the Mobster, XS went there as well, and Sexy Eddie. So that's where I would say I always say CZW is my home away from home, because that's that's where I think everything started for me because John Zandig believed in me, and all because Kevin Steen made the joke of you should give her my belt, and then they talked like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, it all started with Kevin Steen and John Zandig.
Wow. Now, where did the Lufisto?
Lufisto, it was in 2003. Like back then, going to Japan, you had to be chosen. Like I know a lot of people now they just fly themselves there, but back then, I just wanted to say something. I have nothing against people who fly themselves to get knowledge. If you fly yourself somewhere to get to school training, Kylie Skater is one of the best example I know. She flew herself to Japan, trained for 3 months, and she's an amazing athlete today. But there's other people who fly themselves and say, hey, I've been to Japan. No, they didn't bring you to Japan. You
yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion. And anyway, back to my Japan story. Back then you had to be chosen. So I was sending tapes and sent resumes. So they would choose 2 gaijins to bring there. And they chose me, but they were like, oh, because back Daphne used the name Lucifer, and I was like Precious Lucy, and they're like, we can't really pronounce Precious right, and there was already a Lucy. There's Daphne using the name Lucy, and there was another Lucy in Japan. I don't remember her name. It's just like, you can't use Lucy. I'm like, okay. And I'm a big Star Wars geek, and I love like Batman, and it was a time where Bono was supposed to have that character back then known as Macfisto, like a singing devil, cocky, and I'm like, oh, that could work. So, and being a Star Wars fan, a few people will know, like there's a Jedi called Jedi Kit Fisto. So I'm like, okay. So I took Lou from Lucy and Fisto from Macfisto and Jedi Fisto, put them together. It doesn't mean anything, but it's like it can be pronounced in any language, whether it's French, and Precious Lucy in Spanish was like La Preciosa Lucy. I don't like it. So I'm like, Lufisto. Any language sounds good. It sounds cartoonish. So I'm like,
because I was telling, it sounds very threatening.
I was telling that it sounds pretty spooky, but at the same time, but I never heard anything like that. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's very unique. So
yeah, that's why I was like, one name, easy to remember. It sounds like you said, like it could be spooky, but it could be cartoony, like a Japanese anime. That's where I was going, because as soon as I got to Japan, my character, the kind of devil, eel something, changed to the anime gimmick, because like there's animes everywhere, like even on ads for toilet paper. I'm like, man, they rule the world. And I'm like, I really like the fact where I couldn't understand what I was watching on TV, but with the animes, they're so cute but yet so violent. I like the paradox of this. I'm like, I want to bring this to the ring. And that's how Lufisto became the super hardcore anime Lufisto.
Do you always play heel more or face?
No, I'm a face. I'm a terrible heel. Every time I've tried, for some reason, I still have those people screaming and like having my bag. Or one of the examples, like I've wrestled for ROH in Montreal, and I was wrestling for Shimmer back then, already had the anime gimmick, but they wanted me to go against Stacey Hayes, who was a babyface. And here I am, and I talked to Dave Prazak. I'm like, Shimmer was really close to ROH back then. I'm like, they know me as the anime. What should I do to be, he was like, keep the anime, but make it more weird. And so here came Pegaboo. I'm like, oh, a doll I talk to and I remove her head, that's creepy. So I look kind of crazy anime, like I was like smiling and then poking my face with my finger and kind of a schoolgirl outfit, and like it looked weird. But then I got there, and when I started wrestling, I have a lot of power moves. People started to pop and them cheering for me, and it happens often. So I don't remember who told me that, but maybe it's Tracy Sputters, like, oh, you got the baby face curse for life. And same thing happened like a few weeks ago. I was wrestling Crazy Mary at the Juggalos, and I was like, there was a girl, she was screaming, show me your tits! I'm like, fuck. I completely switched and then went on her. I'm like, you show me your tits, bitch. Then she shows me her tits. I'm like, fuck, I'm not impressed.
Where's this at?
And then I started.
Where are these fans? Can you bring them over here?
Yeah, I know. I started healing, and then I started doing the suplex, and then people were like, oh my god, they start chanting the Brock Lesnar song, Suplex City, then start cheering. I'm like, fuck this, fuck you guys. Yeah! I'm like, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm like, oh, that girl.
She's describing that character. I'm already falling in love with that character.
Yeah, right?
That was funny at one of the AWS shows. One of the fans was heckling you.
Oh my god!
Tits.
Yeah.
And
oh my god! You got nice tits. Show me your tits. You got some.
So during the match, she grabs her tits and she's like, "Yeah, we have boobs. Shut up."
That's why you're not allowed at the AWS show,
And,
Butcher.
Yeah, one of the things, like, he kept going, boobs, boobs, boobs. I'm like, I just stopped wrestling. It's like, oh, you've never seen boobs before. Then people turn around,
Yeah,
man!
everybody started laughing at that guy.
And then I went for a cover, and that's when I'm like, here you go, motherfucker! I'm shaking my boobs and go for the cover. And then people are laughing at him. Then after it's like, you got me. Him shake my head like, dude, like, boobs, I have boobs. Oh, big surprise! Like, oh.
Now I know where to show me your tits. You know, and where it all started. It started at AWS. Because you're here in a certain location. Show me your tits. Show me your tits. So now you know where it started.
I gotta go more AWS shows.
You have to. It's great. Great women wrestling.
Did you? Now you wrestled Japan and Mexico. How is the environment different?
In Mexico, it's really like a religion. Like, I compare it to the Montreal Canadiens. Like, when the Canadians are playing, oh man, people are praying and the candles are lit, and it's like, they're everywhere. If, I don't know, a big guy gets murdered, but the Canadians are playing, Canadians are front page of the newspaper. It's that bad. But in Mexico, yeah, like, you're a star. You're a superhero. Children running, Lufisto, in the streets. I'm like, what the hell? My face on magazines, and then doing the morning shows with the hosts, and like, because wrestling's it's in the newspaper. It's everywhere. It's really a religion, and they appreciate the work. They want to be part of it. It's such a beautiful culture. Like, Lucha Libre is, when you go there, you sometimes you get bitter about wrestling for different kind of things, and when you go to Mexico, it kind of brings back the peace, because they appreciate what you do in the ring as an entertainer, as a wrestler, as an athlete. And that's a beautiful thing about Mexico and Lucha Libre. And for Japan,
They must have put cameras all over you.
It wasn't that bad, because back then the gaijins were more put aside. I think today is different. I haven't been there recently. Well, actually, if I it's an Envy right now is there, and she gets a lot of press. But back then they were more quiet. Like, I was there with Sarah Del Rey. That's where I met Sarah. We met in Japan, because I was one of the chosen girls. She was the other one, because they would bring two gaijins at the time back then. Alice in Danger has been there, and I can't remember who the other ones were. Yeah, Japan, it's all about respect, fighting spirit, never give up, work around your injuries. I had a bad knee when I went to Japan, and they showed me how to. I can really say that Japan, this is where I've learned to work properly with weaknesses and strength. How to cover the weaknesses and make sure the strength are, put in front of everything, so people don't see what could be bad.
Right.
Yeah. So
They probably bust that Miyagi shit on you, huh?
About the United States, all over the United States, you've wrestled all over the United States and Canada.
Canada, Mexico, and Japan. So you've done your
England and Germany.
England, Europe, and they all have different styles of wrestling.
Yes.
Which one would you say is probably not the fans, but favorite maybe that you like, or do you like doing all of them, or?
I like to mix everything. I used to do a lot more lucha libre, but now that my knees are like, meh, I don't do as much flippy stuff. And I'm more of a strong style, high impact wrestler. I mix so many. Like, I like the technical part of it. I like the strong style. I like to mix everything, and I'm really trying. I've been really trying to slow down my style because I was like full pace, like all the time, like in Japan, boom, boom, boom. But since like I've wrestled here a lot more, I've been trying to slow down more, take my time, and try to incorporate a little bit of everything.
Now, your first time in California was for Epic
Yes.
Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, 2008 against Joey Ryan. By the way,
out of all people,
yes,
Joey
and
Ryan.
I don't know if you know this, and Joey said it on one of his shows. I am the first woman who ever got the bootlegs.
Is that where it started?
Yep, right here.
So what'd you?
I missed that shit.
I'm trying to visualize that in my head right now. The bootlegs.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, go on
It's like a
YouTube.
German suplex, but
Uh-huh.
instead of grabbing the waist, he grabs the boobs. Whoop.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I got it. I got to
I
check
think
it
there's
out.
a video compilation on YouTube.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Should try it on the butcher.
Boobs.
None of this hard for.
There's also the balls-plex from Candice LeRae.
Oh,
Same thing, but by the balls.
Yeah.
Whoop.
You do that on David.
They won't like that.
At least somebody will grab.
We need to call the
goodness.
cutest world tag team to have a few boob plex.
Yeah, really around you.
Yeah.
Do you remember how was it when you first came to California? And I mean, the wrestle
I
here.
was so excited because, like, I've heard so much good thing about California, and I've never been here, and I wanted to see Hollywood, and PWG was big back then, and actually that first trip, I wrestled Joey and Candice. Candice was at PWG, and Joey was at Epic, so I really loved another.
That was the very first women's to ever wrestle at PWG, right?
No, I think Sarah Del Rey was there before, but I was one of the only all-women's matches. There's been more since then, I think, but
Only a few.
there was. I know.
You,
Yeah, I know
Daphne,
Sarah,
Candace.
Daphne. There was Candice
Small
and me.
handful.
Yeah,
Right.
small handful.
Yeah, that's that big.
And it's funny because I was CZW Ironman champion, and no, I was not champion, but I had been. And babyface curse again, like, oh, you're gonna be heel against Candice? I'm like, no problem. I'm like, I was pumped, like, let's do this, be heel. I was so pumped. And my music started, and I crossed the curtain, standing ovation. I'm like, no. And I was like, sit down, I'm tired, I had a long flight. Yeah! Like, and then I started healing, and then they started turning on me. I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah! And then, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was choking her, and then there's a guy who screams, I thought you were nice. I'm like, dude, I want to win, Pop. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. And yeah, I've tried, I think, one more time after that to be heel. It didn't work. It was in Quebec too. It was so bad. It was so bad. So I kind of gave up. Although sometimes I'm like, I'd like to be heel. It's less work.
Why you gotta make her a heel?
Well, the way I kind of classify her and some of the other girls, like when people ask, well, is she a baby face or a heel? I go, well, she's more of a serious wrestler, and I don't really see you being a baby face. Like, I mean, you've done it. I've seen it. But jumping around and all girly, giggly. No, not that
I used
type of
to
baby
be
face.
that. When I first did the anime, I had the pigtails and the skirts and the very cartoony and my doll and all the little funny faces and shaking the butts and farting on people. I did all that. But the thing is,
Fart on Butcher.
I didn't eat. There's none.
Maybe a
there's
hair
not
will
one.
grow
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't smell like
pretty
garlic, I'm
X-rated.
okay.
Garlic.
So when I was doing that, I started to notice that a lot of girls were doing the same thing, like literally copying the same thing. So I went like, okay, so I kind of slowly tweaked, I removed the skirts, no piggy tails, to the point where I literally killed my doll manager because, like, first of all, I had her for 5 years. I'm 35 years old with a doll, and I'm like, my character is so, like, the best way to have a character and make it work, it has to be a little, like, a big part of you. Either you tweak it to be really bad or really, baby funny, or make it a better version of you. And I thought, I was so far away from that character now. Like, I have a whole sleeve of tattoo that represents metal bands. I'm like, oh, that doesn't work anymore. And every time I was going in the ring, I was kind of eyeing my doll. I felt like she would get a pop, but I'm like, yeah. When people say "Peekaboo," yeah.
Were they ring announcers?
Yeah, and I still have that. Where's Peekaboo? She's dead.
We have a.
That's kind of like George Allen's stuff animal.
Yeah, with what was that?
Mine.
We have a question for you too from Chad Simplicio. He was asking, do you miss having Peekaboo? So there you go.
Sometimes
people were legit upset when Peekaboo.
Oh yeah, people like.
Yes.
How did he get
DJ
killed?
Hyde got so many hate mail. Like, Peekaboo died. Like, I made like. There was that image of her with the date she was born, the day she died. Yeah, people were so upset. Still today, it's like, I miss Peekaboo. I'm like, yeah, but I believe in wrestling. When you've been doing this for so long, you need to tweak your character. You need to modify it. That's why I've always been the big fan of The Undertaker. How many times did he tweak and change his character? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people shit on Metallica, but Metallica changed so much. Yeah. They stayed fresh and different. That's why they're still going strong, selling out, and
they have short hair now, but they're still going.
They're still going, short hair, like different kind of music. Like, I really miss Jason Newsted, but I love him, by the way. I love you, Jason. That's shoot. I think he was my first crush.
So how did you kill Peekaboo?
And do you still have it?
It's her ghost is at my mom's. She lives at my mom's in the closet. I killed her. Like, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm like, who could kill her and what we could do, and so it worked. And I'm like, I went to DJ Hyde and like, DJ, I really need to change my character. I don't feel comfortable being all bubbly and funny, and I need to be me in the ring, because right now I think in my career that's where I'm at. I want to go in the ring and enjoy myself and not think necessarily about being a character, being a better version of me, or a worse if it comes to the point where I would be heel. And I'm like, we were thinking about a way to get there, and he didn't have anything for Sassy Steffi, and I'm like, let's get her involved. Like, because he says, like, I can do I wanted him to kill Peekaboo because he's one of the biggest heels. I know people would talk about it. I've known DJ for over 10 years, so I'm like, and he was at CCW when I started with John and everything, and he saw how I became, what I am today through CCW. And it was important for me because she was a big part of me, so I'm like, it was important for me that I had that connection with the person who would kill her. And we needed a girl in there, and we talked about it, and I wanted Sassy Steffi to be there because she's strong on a microphone. She didn't have anything, and I'm like, that's going to be a good spot for her, and then I can go in a feud. And so we did that whole thing where after a title match, she just showed up, and DJ showed up, and he dismembered her, and he threw a chair in my face in a hard way, and there was blood everywhere, and it was really nasty. But people talked about it, so like it got the effect we wanted, and even more. So yeah.
Did you have any brutal injury? Now you mentioned cuts. Did you have like any major brutal injuries that could have like put you out completely?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my first bad injury was my right knee. I tore completely my meniscus and my ACL. So I had surgery for that, and they gave me the choice to would you rather we replace it and completely with, I think it was with Teflon or something, we make a new meniscus or whatever, or we use some of your nerves, and you're going to be out for 9 to 10 months. I'm like, okay, what's the other option? Well, we just clean everything. You're left with nothing, and it's just bones, and you'll be back in the ring in about 5 months or 4. I'm like, okay, let's take that option. 2 months after I was in the ring.
Of course. I feel better.
Yeah, but it goes back to, like, again, knowing now. Like, then what I know now, I would have got the full surgery. Because back then I was so like, oh, they were already calling me a pussy because I got hurt. I was doing backflips, landing on my feet from the top rope, doing backflips, and then the knee just poop gave up. And I'm like, they're not going to call me a pussy. They're not going to say, like, I'm going to be back in this ring as soon as I can. But that's what I had a discussion with a few wrestlers, like, oh, I need knee surgery, but I don't want to lose my spot. I'm like, no. Because in the long run, if you get that call from the big promotion and you did not get your knee fixed, you're gonna be you're gonna lose your chance. Either you get it fixed now, or you can regret it forever. Like, you have to be smart. Get it fixed now while you're young, and it's easy to repair. And that was the first one. Second one. I was wrestling Necro Butcher, and it was like a really hard fight. And he gave me a backbreaker on 2 open chairs. I didn't feel anything then, but later during a match, I kind of collapsed after, and they found out that I had 3 herniated discs at the right spot where my back landed on those chairs. So I was out for 7 months, and I thought it was over. And I looked online. I was trying to find a way to find some protection. So I started to wear long, like kind of dresses, so I could wear. I went online and I found like a gel pad that figure skaters were putting on their spine to practice their jumps. So I got that, like a special corset made so I could go back in the ring as soon as possible. So after 7 months, I was back in the ring with my corset wrestling. That's number 2. And number 3, it was it 3 years ago? Yeah, it was WrestleCon, and I did the moonsault to the outside. And there was 7 girls, and I think it was miscommunication because I was going to the right, but they were to the left. I went down, gave them a sign to move, and they did not. So I was like, I have to jump. And there was 2 girls there, 2 small girls, but I jumped anyway. And nobody caught me. And I landed on the arena floor, and my left knee took the hit. So I landed, and then I was like, the first thing I was like, oh, is my neck all right? Then I started touching, like, I'm fine. Then I put my right leg up, I'm like, I'm fine. When I push myself up on the apron, I'm like, there's something wrong with my left knee. But I was brought up that way. You finish the match. I roll back in, and I had to do a tiger suplex. I had to run the ropes. I had to duck a few things, and then give a burning hammer, and then try another burning hammer and roll up. That was my spot. I went in there with a shattered patella and finished the match. And I even went out and signed autographs after.
Oh, goodness.
And I didn't know it was broken. I'm like, it's a big bruise. And then, but Amada comes backstage, like, what's going on? It's like, doesn't look good, eh? No, it doesn't look good. And we drove back to Quebec, like a 7-hour drive. And then I saw the doctor the next day. It's like, we need x-rays. Like, and they call me, like, hours later. Oh, you need surgery. Tomorrow. It's bad. I'm like, really? It's exploded. I'm like, oh, God. Yeah, so.
Well, let me say this. She ain't no pussy.
No.
And no wonder.
I was feeling some pains there.
And no wonder they don't boo you.
No, I always say, is it courage or being a fucking idiot? Like,
all the above.
All these answers. Like, there's a fine line between fucking being an idiot and courageous.
I have a question for Bart. When did you hit butts with her when you met her the first time?
What do you mean? Say that again?
When you met her. Well, how did you discover her?
Oh, I definitely did not. I have known about her, but really didn't follow her too much. Like, the thing that stood out in my mind about her was the hardcore stuff.
Hmm.
I always saw, this chunky girl covered in blood in a skirt with pigtails. That was my image of her.
I'm not chunky, I'm fluffy.
Oh,
Thank you. That's how I see
You're
myself.
fluffy too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had known that Gary Yap had brought her in for Epic, and then she did PWG, but I missed both of those, so I didn't get to see her live yet. And then I had known, seen her in Shimmer and everywhere. I mean, her name's worldwide. Everybody knows who Lufisto is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually the AWS Women's Champion at the time, Christina Von Airy, that really wanted me to bring her out. She said, "Oh, I could have an awesome match with this girl. Please bring her." I go, "I know exactly who she is," and that's how it happened.
What'd you think when he called you?
I
Well,
don't even remember how the hell did we set that up.
I think probably Facebook or
Facebook.
email.
Something.
It was easy because there was no problems. Everything was fine. Dealing with Bart is easy, so I'm like,
You know,
I mean, did
that's
you know
probably
about
why
Bart?
we don't remember.
Did you know about
because
Bart
it was like,
first? I mean, did you know about Bart first, or did you hear about his dick?
Oh no! I heard
he's a
about-
legend.
No, he's the myth, the legend,
The myth,
and
the
I gave
legend.
it a name. I gave it a name.
Go
and
for it.
I will give Ray's this props. She says the cock is so legendary it should have a Twitter account, and the name is Cockatoo, capital letter Kapitsky. Cockatoo Kapitsky, the myth, the legend.
I'm gonna follow that
Like,
Twitter.
follow it. It needs an account on Twitter.
Gonna have a show called Talk to the Cock.
Yeah.
Forget the Wrestling Guy podcast. We're moving out.
The Cock Guy podcast.
Setting that up was easy. It was just like, bam, bam, bam. Okay, you're booked. We'll see you when you get here.
Until when she did the match, what was your first?
Oh, the match was phenomenal. It was awesome. The place went nuts. People still talk about that match. And what was that, like 2013 when we did that?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
There was a
an
Please Come Back
anniversary
match,
show
so
or
he brought me
something.
back.
Yeah.
Now there was the same question. Another question from Chad Simplicio was your favorite and toughest AWS opponent.
So far, it's been
I would
Naya,
say a
Christina,
tie between
Hudson.
Hudson and Ray's. Ray's for her size and strength, and she's so quick. Like for bigger women, usually you're like, oh, it's the usual, and I'm not talking about Awesome Kong, because she's amazing. It's usually slower pace, but Ray's can go, and she was a really tough opponent. As far as Hudson, I've been mentoring her for the past 2 years, so she knows everything about me. I know everything about her, and it was like I really wanted her. I think if I was not her first title defense, it was like pretty
Pretty
what?
close to
Yeah,
that,
pretty
yeah.
close. And like for me, it was mentally challenging because I really wanted her to look like $1,000,000, and I knew she really wanted this. She was really nervous. I think she puked twice before.
I just remember,
and
like,
she's
I would
so
get
tough.
messages nightly. I want to wrestle Lufisto. I want to wrestle Lufisto. Okay, shut up.
But she works so hard. She wants to be accepted as a wrestler so hard, and she's gonna go in there and give it all. And yeah, she's definitely one of the toughest. But I've loved all my matches with Ada. I mean, I didn't
They
have
were
a
all
bad.
good.
Yeah, I didn't have a bad
No,
match.
you have
Like
not had a bad match.
like with Anaya was so entertaining because that guy with the boobies, and she was more.
That's the match?
That's the match
That
with
one?
Anaya, yeah. And with Christina, my first time, we went all over the place, and
I think you guys got a huge.
we got a
chant after that,
standing
yeah.
ovation, I
Mhm.
think, and like I mean, like toughest, yeah, I could say Ray, I could say Hudson, but the two others, I mean, I had
They were all good.
great matches at AWS.
Now that wasn't the only time you've had a big standing ovation. I understand you had a big standing ovation and you had the crowd going nuts in your Shimmer match against cheerleader Melissa, where it was all blood. everywhere.
Yeah. I always feel really blessed by the Shimmer fans because there's not many matches where they don't stand up once I'm done, even if I'm match number 1. Like, I get so much love from them, and I feel so blessed every time I go there. And that particular match with Melissa, we had that feud going, and it was for the title. And I always feel it was like my Daniel Bryan moment because people wanted me to win so bad. They were almost angry that, like, when I lost, people were angry online and complaining. And so many people were like, I'm not coming back. You should have the belt. Like, no. It's okay. It's okay. But, yeah, I had that moment where people wanted me so much to be the champ, and with that feud, like, it was like I felt the stakes were so high, and then I unfortunately hit her so hard that I gave her 10, I think it's 10, I could be wrong, stitches in the face, and there was blood everywhere, and added to the dramatic effect of all this because we've been at each other's throats for so long, and that was going in Montreal, that was going in Shimmer, like, it was everywhere, and I had a feud with Mercedes Martinez in Montreal, in New Jersey, like, it was like almost like nationwide. Like, me and Mercedes were at it everywhere. She got added to the mix, and I lost I lost the match with her because of Melissa. So we had this all thing. Like, the story was so good. Unfortunately, I feel it fell kind of flat because I beat Melissa in a tag match, and there was nothing else after that. But there was so much different emotions in there from the fans, from like everything. I can only not a lot of people know about this, but before that feud, I was planning to quietly go and give up, and I wanted to quit. I'm like, I've worked so hard, I'm not getting signed, I'm not even getting looked at. And I had this whole plan in my mind that I was closing my website, closing everything. Then Shimmer happened, and Amada was scheduled to have that feud with Melissa, and she wasn't there, and they chose me, and we went on that amazing feud, that amazing weekend. And I took a break after that, but it really started the fire again in me, and I've been going since. I say I'm like, I should stop, but I keep going. I love it too much. Like, anyone that says that I don't love this, Gary Oxborough, I'm sorry, I'm going to say your name. There was a fan going online saying, oh, you're against... I didn't think I was going to shoot today, but whatever.
Wait, what's his name?
Gary Oxborough,
Fuck you, Gary.
Because I wrote this piece about Kimberly and Chris Dickinson, because I was so fucking mad that they would call her an idiot for taking big spots. It's like, you don't know what it is to be a woman in a man's world and having to prove yourself. And she's not stupid. She knows what she's doing. She's a great worker. It got me mad, so I got into writing a blog to... You can't jump someone who wants to prove herself, but knowing what I know now, I would have made things differently, being more smart about the shots I took. I took the chair shots, the head bumps, but then this guy, and probably like maybe 2 or 3 others, I don't know, went on saying that I was shitting on indie wrestling, and I was against it, and because when I say that I sacrificed everything for nothing, I mean that it didn't get me to where I wanted, meaning having a contract, meaning living as a professional wrestler every single day. So yeah, taking all these bumps right now, I'm hurt. I have those injuries that will never go away. That's what I mean when I say it didn't bring me nothing, because in the end, if I knew what I know now, I would have spent maybe more time in the gym, spend my money on a trainer, train differently, actually train more as a wrestler. That's why I was telling the girls, be smart. But if you ever say that I don't like this is 18 years of my life. This is more than half my life. I sacrificed my body, my health, my relationships, everything. I'm not married. I don't have a house. I have wrestling. I'm married to wrestling. I've sacrificed literally everything for this, and it really drives me fucking mad when somebody does that, because you don't know my life. You don't know how much work and pain and everything I put in this. So like this. Like I've been trying to quit. I've been trying to quit so bad, and that's funny because DJ was like, "You say that every year." I'm like, I know, dude. Like, I'm so old. You're not old. And like, and one of my friends was
corny business. That's all I can say.
Oh, it's like there was a guy in Canada who was writing about who had the best years, and last year my name comes up. It's like, she's like fine wine, she gets better with the years. I'm like,
no, coincidentally, I say that about myself.
Oh, it's true.
You lie to yourself a lot. You're like, yo, nah.
Yeah.
I want
You
to
gotta
say
pour
one
some
thing.
Ovaltine on him.
I want to say one thing. Like the very first time I did bring Lufisto to AWS, maybe I was a little naive about how popular she is and respected against, to all the women wrestlers. They marked out hard for her. Oh my God, they were nervous to meet her. They were shaking. They were like, "Oh my God, it's Lufisto. She's really here." I'm like, "What the fuck? It's just Lufisto."
I don't get that either. Like, what's going on? I don't remember who it was.
There was a lot of them, and even if they didn't act like that with you, they were telling me. They were like, just, oh my God. To a lot of these girls on the independent scene, Lufisto's the shit. And they were just like so honored to meet her and happy that I brought her. And a lot of that was just like shocking to me too. It's like, damn, who the fuck did I bring?
Yeah.
I'm always like overwhelmed when I hear things like that, because I always say like if I look back at my career, I think I did the best I could, and I don't see myself as like legend. To me is not a word I want to be associated with, and I don't want to be like. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll bring you to a show. It's like, oh, she's one of the best. Well, I don't say that. What if I have a crappy match? Like, it's bad. Hey, crappy match happens to everybody. I'm like, no. What if I shit the bed? I'm like, you don't say that. Oh, that's the best. That sucks. And it's funny because I was in Albuquerque a few weeks ago, and I was the promoter of Matt's like, you're a legend. I'm like, no, dude. Like, I'm just a girl who tried really hard and really wanted to prove people wrong, prove she was as good as the man, and wanted to be seen as an equal. And when I hear that, I'm like, I feel like maybe it goes back to what I was saying. Like, my main goal was to be a professional wrestler full-time, and I did not achieve that goal. So I feel, I don't want to say I'm nobody, because, like I said, I'm so blessed to have so many fans, and some of them send me gifts. And yesterday, like, I got a message from Twitter. Congratulations, you have 12,000 followers. I'm like, Jesus, not too bad for a girl never been on TV. And it always surprises me because I didn't make it. But all the love and all the fans and all, like, the love I get from my peers, like, it's, yes, I do get, I'm not bitter about the business. I'm sad that I didn't make it, but on the other side of it, I am so blessed that I get to work with amazing people, and I think I get the respect I've worked for. And I mean, when you just look at that, like I said, I feel really blessed.
Maybe to these girls, these up and coming girls that look up to you, maybe you're their Undertaker.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't compare myself to the
but maybe to
Undertaker.
them, but, maybe they see you as their Undertaker.
Yeah, I
like,
think what she has done, she's accomplished a lot. Because, like I said, girls all over the world look up to her, and she's even recognized by Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
I mean, you have.
That's not just in the United States. That's in Canada, Mexico, and Japan. So, I mean, in Europe.
Oh, man, promoters from Mexico, when I was bringing her out, you got Lufisto? Can we get her down to Mexico? I'm like, yeah, you got money?
I know, money, not pesos.
She's very popular down in Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. I was brought there by it was Lucha Pop back then, 2009. I haven't been there for a few years, And that's funny because I asked him for a reference letter if I wanted to get booked once I was done with that booking. And in the letter he writes, I didn't know she had a strong following. Like once I announced her, like all the media were calling. It's like I never had so much attention from a women's wrestler coming that's, well, not on TV.
Mhm.
And then I was on the front page of Lucha, what was it, Super Luchas, or like,
Super Lucha.
and it's funny because there was me big on the page, and then a little Davey Richards. I'm like, this is wrong. No,
It's
like,
only Davey Richards. Who
I'm
cares?
like, no,
It's
he's
only
so
Davey.
good. Like, this is wrong. But he's like, no, they're really excited that you're back. I'm like, who they? Everybody. Like, who? Like, and then TV. I was on TV and all that. I'm like, wow, it's
Well, I mean,
crazy.
it is a goal. I mean, it isn't a huge achievement to not be on TV. You know, WWE, Lucha Underground, whatever, and be named a PWI's in the top 10,
I was number 5.
Yeah.
top
I was,
5,
yeah.
That was last
and without
year.
any
That's last year.
and without
Yeah.
any TV time.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I go. You
That's
probably
a major.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think in the top 5, I'm the only one who's never been on TV. I don't know about top 10. Maybe,
See,
maybe.
that's the thing. I was telling people, and I tell other wrestlers too. I go, there's more to wrestling than WWE, TNA. You can make a name for yourself in Mexico, Japan, Europe, all over the place. I mean, there's more than just TV. Even though, of course, that's everybody's main goal. But you could still, make a name for
If
yourself.
you look at people like Prince Devitt or Kevin Owens, Finn Balor now, they had such a strong following before they got
Wow.
signed. They were stars. Like,
Yeah.
Devitt was a king in Japan.
Yeah.
Like Kenny
He
Omega
wrestled
right now.
AWS.
Kenny Omega right now is killing it in Japan.
How did it feel for you to see your name in the top 5 of that PWI?
I was surprised because same reaction. Wow, I'm not on TV and I'm in top 5. That's because I know like they have a weird way of classified people. They do look at titles and exposure and all that. I'm like, ugh,
They
who am I?
factor in everything.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's not. It's not really about skills and whatnot. It's about titles and wins and loss and really old school way of classifying people. So I was like, oh, I'm there. Okay, and they're like, really?
Well, you won a lot of championships.
Yeah.
Can you name all of them?
Okay.
We did this with
And what
Famous B.
year?
And what year?
And what city? And
And the
Don't
opponent
tell
who
me.
lost it, I mean, they
Don't be like Famous B. 2012 was his year.
we've established that.
had all the titles.
Yeah, Famous
2012 was his year.
Okay, let's. I'll start. First titles were.
I should time this.
Jeopardy.
I'm gonna get a timer on this.
First title was the UWA Cruiserweight Championship. So my first title was actually a man championship
Wow.
in Ontario. Then after I was the ICW, the Quebec provincial title that I won twice. I was the tag team champion, ICW twice. I was after that, where was I? Damn. I won. So UWA Cruiserweight Championships, ICW Provincial Champ twice, Tag Team Champion twice. What was that name? Oh man! Oh, the Canadian All-Star Canadian Champion in Toronto. Then I've won the Olympic Championship Wrestling belt in Montreal. I was the CZW Ironman champion, NCW Femme Fatale champion in Montreal, WSU World Champion in Jersey. I've won the NCW title again in Montreal. Damn, what else? I'm the king of the death matches 2006. I'm the queen of the death matches 2007.
Wow.
I am the current Atomic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship in Pennsylvania. I am the current Alpha Omega Women's Champion in California here. What else? I think that's about it, but I think I'm.
She needs her own Hall of Fame.
I bet you there's
I
something
have
she's
to.
forgetting.
Yeah, I have to go. I'm going.
Google it.
I'll go on my website, Lufisto.com. Really updated every week. I do it
You know, if
myself.
it's on the internet, it's true.
By the way, Wikipedia is wrong. You go on Lufisto.com. That's the real bio. I wrote it myself. I know.
The last title she had just mentioned, that's why she's here in California.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. This weekend, August 9th, I'll be in Victorville for Alpha Omega Wrestling, defending my title against the very impressive Nicole Savoy.
Oh, Nicole.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's going to be a badass.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hurt.
And I classify both of them as serious wrestlers. Like, I don't see anybody doing shaking hands, little girly stuff. This is going to be a competition match.
Actually, here's a story about Nicole. The first time actually, I'm going to start from the beginning. Shimmer, one of the bookers, like, who would you like to wrestle? And then I look at a list he gave me, and I go online, and then I always do research on my opponents, and I'm like, I really want to wrestle Nicole Savoy. He's like, do you think, like, she's a young and upcoming star, like, do you think? I'm like, give her to me. I really want to help her get to the next stage because I think she has it. She's like so good. And they booked me against her and we had a standing ovation and such a great chemistry. So I'm so looking forward to this match again this weekend.
When I saw her the first time at AWS, I don't know why.
Nicole?
Nicole. I saw her at the women's night. Ladies' night. Women's night.
Okay, in May.
In May. And I don't know why she reminds me of Ronda Rousey.
That
She has that
Straight
badass.
She can kick the
like
shit
that.
out of you.
Yeah, she had that Ronda Rousey kind of vibe, that badass.
Oh, actually,
I'ma
here's
fuck
another
you up,
here's
look.
another injury. She was kicking me so hard at Shimmer, and at one point I was to the side kind of selling, and I wasn't ready for the second kick. She kicked my hand and broke a little piece of my hand. So I have to tape my hands for a month after because I didn't go to see the doctor. The rest, it's not her fault. I was like, my hand was where it's not supposed to be, and she kicked like right on my hand. I'm like, oh, and then it was all black. Like, so I have to tape my hands for all my other matches, and
God,
it's probably
tell you, no pussy. Not a pussy.
No, I'm very happy for Nicole because even before she went to Shimmer, Dave had sent me a message and we had a little chat about Nicole. I'm very happy that they took a chance on her.
Oh God, I forgot so many titles in these.
I told you. There's probably like 10 more.
Okay.
Here we go.
I am current. Wait. Number 1, Ultimate Wrestling Alliance Cruiserweight Champion, Inter Championship Wrestling Provincial Champion twice, All-Star Wrestling Canadian Champion, ICW Tag Team Champion twice, Lucha Libre Femenil Extrema Campeona, Slam Angel Wrestling World Champion, Combat Zone Wrestling Iron Man, ICW Olympic Champion, ALF Women's Champion, Lucha Pop Mexico Mexican Fam Champion. I don't know what it was. Oh, the NSPW Heavyweight Champion. I was the first woman in Canada to win a major title in the companies. WSU Champion, Femme Fatale Champion twice, Alpha Omega Women's Champion current, and Atomic Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion currently.
Wow.
And besides that, IWA Queen of the Death matches. I won the ALF Sherry Martel Memorial Cup with El Generico in 2007. Stranglehold King of the Death match 2006 when I beat, it was the Juggulator, Bill Scullion, and Necro Butcher. And the EOW Super 8 Women winner. And the other stuff is Match of the Year and whatnot, but that's enough. Jeez.
Butcher, how many championships have you won?
She just got me by one.
By one, huh?
By one.
By the first one, right?
Exactly. That's impressive. That's
There's
very
a little
impressive.
something I've heard, a rumor that
You and rumors.
you
You
do a little
Rumors!
you do some graphics for a certain wrestling promotion. I heard. You know that you took over after Cincinnati Red passed away. I don't know that promoter. I heard he's a dick. I heard his
His dick is a
dick is
legend.
legendary.
Yeah.
So is it true you do the graphics now for
Yeah,
AWS?
right now for AWS, I'm doing all the banners and the flyers. You'll see is all my work. I also do a lot of work for Rockstar Pro Wrestling in Dayton, the arena website, the wrestling website, the posters, the flyers, Besides that, I design everything. All my T-shirts designed I make myself. DVDs, my website. I'll do other T-shirt designs for other wrestlers. So.
I think
Busy.
Pretty awesome.
I think she needs the Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat shirt.
I actually
Pretty
have
much.
a tank top because I'm a Brock Lesnar fan.
Now, has anybody ever been upset with you because you left them off a poster?
If I what?
Anybody ever been upset with you because you left somebody off a poster?
If I left the post.
Left them off a poster, like left a
Oh!
certain wrestler off.
Yeah, but
We don't need to
There's-
go into names, but
there was too many people already. Like every time I put
Everybody
someone
gets
on.
butthurt.
But then again,
I
that's-
love that word, butthurt. It's my
Everybody-
new favorite word. I swear. Like I never used the expression until I moved to the States. Like, oh, this guy's butthurt. I'm like, butthurt. I love that.
Butcher's always butthurt.
Yeah.
Literally,
You
and
butthurt.
literally.
Put a
And,
little bit of cream on it.
Little of that boo-boo.
he likes it dry.
Oh, no spit.
Stay away from the legend, though.
Oh,
You may
yeah.
not walk
That's gonna
for-
hurt.
Oh, goodness. No.
Like what?
That'd be horrible.
You don't want to try the cockatoo?
No, thank you. But I know a few people that might want it. I'm out on that one.
Is that why David keeps winking at me?
Yeah.
Well,
Look at him.
why do you think I'm sweating in here?
The
No, it was the-
presence of the myth, the legend.
It was the boob story had me going.
Has anybody ever, like, when you're having a match anywhere, and you don't have to give any names, but has anyone tried to put a fast one on you, like got a little stiff or give you a cheap shot?
When I started, it was like a freaking thing just to see if I was tough. But it happened in Mexico, actually. I don't
always
remember his
Mexico.
name. I don't remember his name, but I was in a cage match with a guy, and they actually didn't want to get back at me. They wanted to get back at the promoter I was working for. I was fighting the guy, and I was supposed to go over. And he kept trying to pin me and put his weight on me, and I kept kicking out, and he wasn't following the plan of the match or whatnot. And I started just punching him, shoot, and then I'm like, I just got tired of it. I'm like, fuck it. And then he pinned me, but it was because they were pissed at the other promoter. For I don't even remember the reason, but I was like, I'm not gonna get hurt for that shit. So I punched him several times, and I'm like, I let him just roll me up. It's like, you motherfucker. I'm like, yeah. Besides that, I'm like, no. Like I'm not not a fighter. I'm a lover. But if somebody gives me a shot and I know it's on purpose, they probably know there's a fucking receipt coming. Yeah.
I was in that.
I really think I've always said, and I said that to my students, and I really believe in it, that once you're in the ring, your opponent should be your best friends for the 15, 20 minutes, whatever, how long you're in there. You should be protecting his body. I'm like, accidents happen. Like when I hit Melissa, I was crying afterwards. I've never heard no one. I'm like, I heard Melissa out of her so much. I'm like,
Well, see, point that out. You know, people don't understand that shit happens. It's
shit
not
happens.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys didn't plan that. There was not supposed to be no blood.
yeah, I know. It's like I'm
And
wrestling.
we just had the same problem with Melissa against Hudson.
I
Envy.
know, and she, you
The
know what she
reverse
did?
role.
You know what she did? She sent me a picture. It's like, payback on the student, bitch. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, Melissa told me after, she's like, Bart, I'm so sorry. I'm totally against
we-
blood. And
we
I'm like,
don't-
there's fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt. I mean, we do get hurt when we wrestle, but we don't want to purposely give someone stitches or something. But it happens. I mean, yeah, this guy I remember. Besides that, I don't remember anyone like really taking liberties, I would say.
How do you feel training now new wrestlers and mentoring some of the up and comers?
It's been a while since I haven't trained someone from scratch. I used to have.
David's looking, that's why.
Yeah, I used to have a school, but I get so disappointed when they quit. I've mentored a lot of girls, and once they would get that status, couldn't take the pressure, they would quit. Boyfriend, stop wrestling, all kinds of reasons, and I'm like, man, if you can't be strong enough mentally, you don't belong. And I dealt with a bunch of students like that, so I stopped training. I did some clinics, and I really love though mentoring someone that really really wants it. So right now I'm mentoring Hudson Envy and a guy from Quebec. His name is Volcano. He wants it so bad. He's good looking, puts the time in the gym, you know. And
So
when I
fearless.
have someone that's so hungry, I love teaching them. But you know, you can always get the bad apple that's just want to be famous and doesn't give a shit. Like, I've helped people that talk shit about me after them. I'm like, I kind of don't want to deal with that, so I'm really, really picky. Although I've been asked several times to start my wrestling school again, and I'm like, I want to do it, but don't want to deal with the trauma.
There's so much drama in wrestling.
I know. Well, there's drama everywhere, especially I think every.
Give us your whole feedback about the whole drama, like on Facebook, locker rooms.
Well, it's entertainment. You have to deal with. You're dealing not with numbers or props. It's human beings, so it's gonna happen. I mean, I try to stay away from it when people are talking shit. Like I'll hear it, but I don't want to talk about it, or I'll just leave if I can take it. Or I'm one of those who. That's actually funny that you mentioned that because DJ always tells me like, you should be a locker room veteran, talk shit and tell, you know. And, well, not talk shit, but you know, take a stand. And I'm like, I just want to wrestle and have fun. That's where I'm at. I don't want to get involved in people's drama. If I really need to and I feel it's for the best, I'll grab one of the girls, the boys, like, hey, you know, don't do this because this will happen. I've seen it, or it happened to me.
Right.
And I try to give constructive feedback. But yeah, the drama, I mean, it's there. I think it's all about how you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Either you ignore it or you get involved in it, and I'm just trying to stay away. Like, there's enough drama in real life. Like, I don't
We don't
need
need
other.
that.
Oh no.
Another thing I was going to ask, you said, you know, you've pretty much done everything. It's like you pretty much in the square circle from all over the country as well. Is there anything that you wish you could have done in wrestling, or a little different, or is there a certain goal that you're missing?
Well, like I said, the goal of working for a major company, that will always be the thing that's missing, because that was the main goal. However, one of the big thing I wanted to do was go to Japan and Mexico, which I did. And then after, I'm like, I want to go to England, and I did, and Germany. But yeah, the contract will always be that little thing where I'm like, I didn't fully make it. Sometimes it bothers me, it makes me sad, sometimes not. Now that I've been wrestling for 18 years, one thing that I would love to do for any kind of bigger companies, there's not one in particular, but like I have, like in the ring, I have more years in the past than I have in the future, but I think I could be a really good asset when it comes to mentoring, being an agent, guiding. I think that's one of my strengths. I'm really good at working with people's weaknesses and strength. And once I'm done with wrestling, that's probably something else like I would like to do, like being a mentor, guiding, whether it's character development or in the ring, or at some point could be even teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know, like if I would be hired to train, maybe I think I would do it. But for me to go on my own and deal with the whole drama in the school and the payments, and that's where I'm like, but if somebody would hire me, I'm like, I love teaching. I love seeing my students succeed more. Right now, I'm more proud of seeing Hudson Envy in Japan than my own matches, because she's having fun. She's having great matches. She's making a name for herself. She's being seen as a serious female wrestler. And every time I hear about Volcano, he's stealing the show. He looks awesome. He's so agile for his size. He's like He's like 220, 6 foot tall, and he flips and he isn't scared of anything. And just looking at them being good and getting better, to me, is so rewarding.
Do you think a lot of the girls right now that's been around, let's say, about 5 years now, compared to your training back then, your sacrifice, and there's some that have some great stories, do you think the girls now, guys, do you think they have it a little easier than what you guys?
Definitely. Like, it's funny. A few weeks ago, and that's where I'm like, the generation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody was freaking out. John Cena finished his match with a broken nose.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen people finish matches with so much worse and on the indie circuit because we were thought, like, whatever you do, you finish the match. That was how it was. And like I said earlier, when you had an injury, you were hurt. Oh, I don't feel good. I'm sick. I will be. Really? When I wrestled Joey Ryan, I had influenza and my aunt just died. And I showed up and we had match of the month in California that day.
Oh, wow.
So.
And you had a bootplex.
I had a bootplex, the first one. The first one.
Well, it's just like that.
That's another award championship. Right
It's like that. Was it Tough Enough where they tell Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, your father passed away, but he's just like, he still goes up and performs, you know, flexing his muscles, and he still wins.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, aren't you going to stop? Aren't you going to? He's going to continue. No, he continued.
He continued. Like, that's one of the things. Like, I still see people of the new generation work injured and want to prove themselves, and but I just feel the etiquette is different. Like, the respect towards the veterans. To me, like, if I made the mistake of not going in the locker room and not shaking one of the veterans' hand, I would get the shit beat out of me. And it depends where you go, but sometimes I'll just be sitting there, and I see people come in not even looking at each other. There's no etiquette. Like, it depends where you're trained. Some people just don't know. There's the John Cena, to me, like, I was like, I even wrote something on my Facebook. I'm like, is it me who's too old, but I don't get it that people are going nuts because he finished a match with a broken nose, when even at WWE, Triple H finished a match with a torn quad. Right. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, but Triple H is from pretty much same school as me. Like, he went the Indies, trained by Killer Kowalski, finished a match no matter what. And like Japan, you had to be chosen. Even Mexico, now people fly themselves in. It's like, I've been to Mexico. Did they fly you in, or you flew yourself in? Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There is a difference, and a lot of veterans I spoke to, they will say it. It's killing the business, because once they're now with the promoters, some of the promoters in Japan will say, it's like, oh, you want to come to Japan? I'm like, yeah, I've been there twice. I want to go back. Oh, you pay for your flight? Why? No, I'm going there to perform and work for you. Oh, these guys are.
Right.
Then it kills it. So these are little things that are different. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe if you come out bubbly now, you could be a heel.
Maybe.
Because all the women's wrestling, I think, has changed a lot. You probably the reason why.
Well, when I was like, just before I changed my character, tweak it more to something closer to me, there's actually, I think 2 or 3 people was like, oh, you're trying to be like Bailey? I'm like, what? I've been doing this for 10 years. I love her, but no. And I was like, I have to change, because if people start comparing to someone who's on TV, unfortunately, you're not on TV, you don't exist for most people, so you have to be different. So that's why I'm like, that was like the final nail in the coffin, where like, okay, I've been compared to her, but it's all things I've been doing for years, but now these new girls are doing. So I was like, no, okay, let's change. So right now it's just me, and like, even for my gear, I just tell my seamstress, I'm like, this color, do what you want. something that fits me. It looks more of a. Some of my gear now, they have like the crisscross and the stuff hanging. It looks like old David Lee Roth. I don't know what it is. It's like
You gonna come out singing Panama?
Panama. And I'm a big.
It's still a great song. I like
It's always a great song. No, I'm a big metal fan, and I've been listening. My first memory of music was Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. That's the first song I remember. I was about 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, my uncle's like, you have to listen to this. We hear the devil. Like, really? I was all excited. Really? Yeah. Like, I don't know if he was trying to scare me, but poor guy, he started something. Because Mommy, I want an electric guitar. I was like, no. And then at 12 years old, same thing. I want an electric guitar. And then, yeah, I've been listening to metal since.
What was the name of your band?
It was Clownery. Because we had a thing going where it was like killer clowns, which is freaking funny because I hate clowns. Has this guy. We go to David Buster's and it's funny. The first time I went there, they didn't know I hate clowns. I don't know why, but there's like
Here's Lufisto at Dave & Buster's, where you throw the is it beanbags or balls?
It's
the balls,
balls.
the red balls,
like there's
right?
clowns
And you, instead of knocking down like bowling pins, it's clowns like shaped like a bowling pin, but it's a clown. Fucking clown, fucking clown, fucking clown, fuck you clown, fuck you fucking clown, fuck. That's Lufisto at Dave & Buster's.
Are we going?
Did you knock any clowns down? Did you knock any clowns down at least?
I won 500 tickets.
There's like little kids and families on the side just like looking bored or like.
And
Okay.
here comes the tickets. Woo! Like killing
I would have
it.
been like, you hate clowns too? Come on.
Yeah, I think there was like, who's that little lady with the tattoos in the weird hair? Let's get out of here.
Mommy, why does she hate clowns?
You know, it's so funny because yesterday I was watching that Lucha Underground, Ultima Lucha.
Mhm.
I found a role for you. Right? I'm about to talk to Chris Joseph.
Really?
Because Marty the Moth kidnapped Sexy Star, and he says, you won't like my sister. And he had this sick laugh. Like, I mean, he actually looked and sounded like the Joker the way he laughed. So I'm like, Right now, I was like, hey.
Was that their season finale?
Season
I was
finale.
supposed to work Sexy Star a while ago, and she had to stop for medical issues. And but I've worked Fabia Pace, which amazing. Like I had such great chemistry, and considering we don't even speak the same language, I would love to work her again. Like I love the Lucha style, and it's funny that you mentioned Lucha Underground because one of my best matches in the past year was against Evil Lise.
Oh, okay.
Never met Evil Lise before, and we went out there and killed it, and I had so much fun with her. It was it's one of my favorite matches. I would work Evil Lise every day.
Just curiosity, do you speak Spanish?
Not really.
She did. She spoke Spanish. I was going to say, wow, that's sexy.
I want to hear a little Spanish, a little Canadian, a little Chinese.
Yeah, the thing is, Spanish so close to French, and I speak French, so there's a lot of words that I get, but I know the...
Can you say something in French, like, fuck off, David?
Va chier, David.
There you have it, David.
There you have
Sounds sexy to me. I would think she was telling me to go do something else.
But, you know, when
David's got a boner.
I can call some of the stuff in Spanish, like,
Vashi, buddy.
va chier,
Vashi?
va chier.
Vashi.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Got any
like,
word for that? Vashi.
it's like, no, go to shit. Go shit.
Sounded to me like you want to go to the back.
Or mange la marde, which eats shit. Yeah, that's the bad.
There you go. Give him some more.
Al French sounds sexy to me. Now I know if they ever say something to me in French, I'll be like,
It's
she must
funny
be
because
cussing me
I
out.
was talking with some girls in French at Shimmer because I would bring some of the girls from Quebec, and Athena's sitting right next behind me. She's just like, oh. She's like, I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, keep talking. She's like, what? I'm like, I felt bad. It's like, oh, does she think we talk shit because we talk in French? She's like, oh, no, just keep talking. I just like to hear the language of love. She was so cute. She was so
What
cute.
it sounds
I
like
love
to me,
Athena.
the language of love.
Yeah,
You
sure
can tell me to
does.
die and go to hell, and I'll still be like, oh. You tell me that way, I might.
Do you have any like special? I always throw us up towards the end. Do you have like any special advice for like newcomers, people that want to become wrestlers, girls especially?
Especially because you said when you started, you were heavy.
Yeah.
Fluffy.
More. Right now, I'm just a little fluffy. Now,
But
back then, I was fat, real fat, fat. Well, when I say fat, it's not even like I had no cardio at all. Like it was like out of shape. Like I know, like people are more like fat, bigger that can go and they're healthy and they're comfortable. I was just like plain out of shape. Like it was bad. And wrestling got me in a decent. So I will always be thick. And by the way, the Mexican people really like that. Oh, thick. Woo. Got the booty.
Have you noticed Roy hasn't stopped staring?
I got the booty. What was I?
Advice for the young
Advice.
for the girls that want to get
For the young
into
ladies that
guys
want
or
to be-
girls that want to get into it.
Yeah, but it's mostly,
I
it's mostly
always-
for girls because she's a woman. So
I always say, make sure you get involved into this for the right reasons, because it's a lot more than people can chew. People say wrestling is fake and oh, it's easy, but it's as much as it is super hard on the body. You have no idea how hard it is. One thing I would tell to my students, I was like, are you ready to live with pain every day of your life? Because learning to wrestle is learning how to embrace pain, because you're going to wake up the next day, you're going to get hurt. And the more years you perform, pain is like every day. Like right now, I think I have one of my nerves that's stuck in my butt. So it's pinching and it's hurting, but it's like, whatever.
Probably
sciatic nerve.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is.
That's
Like,
sciatic nerve.
yeah. If there's a massage therapist if they wants to take care of my butt, please give me a call. Email.
Get in there with my bubble. Don't get excited, Dave. He's just visualizing it already.
Yeah, do it for the right reasons. Like there's people who want to do it because they want to be famous, because the boyfriend's doing it, because the father's doing it, because the friends are. Like, it is so much more than what you see on the surface. You have to be tough mentally. You have to deal. I think that you can separate the workers from the posers when there's the first injuries. When there's the first big injury, the worker who loves it and it's a passion will keep going, and the first thing that he will have on his mind when he's hurt, or she, is, when do I get back? The person that's not in it for the right reason is going to stop right away after the first injury. So why do you want to get involved? Because if you want to get famous, 95% of people won't get famous. I'm one example. I've worked my ass off, worked around the world, and I still didn't get the big payoff. Some people will do. Some people will do at early age. Like, it always makes me laugh when I see someone who's been 2 years in the business, like, and they make it. It's like, I worked so hard, paid my dues. 2 years? 2 years. How long did guys like Joey Ryan and Ricochet and how long Prince Devitt or Kevin have been working before?
Right.
Like, and still not signed or have been signed or are signed currently, how many years they've been in there. Like, don't talk to me about paying dues for 2 years. Like, you've been lucky and blessed, and embrace it and make the best out of it. You're one of the few chosen. Be proud, but stay humble, because you never know. Once you go up, there's only way up. It's down. So
I'm going to name drop here, and Bart's going to kill me, and you might kill me, and Butcher might kill me. Do you think that you're like yourself and like a Sage and Ray's and and Nicole are getting booked more because you guys can actually, you don't have to flaunt the body like, say, like a Shelly Martinez? No offense.
Like a diva style.
Right.
Lady.
I'm saying,
mean
do you think
yeah, I
that's
feel I'm just a different style.
do you
I
think
mean,
that's what fans want now, though? It's more.
Yes, and NXT is the proof of it, and the knockouts years ago are also a proof. They had one of the best thing going at TNA, and they dropped it. The ratings were so high when Gail Kim was there, Melissa was there, you had Amada, you had Roxy, you had so many other names I might forget.
Yeah, Lisa Marie, Victoria.
Yeah, like so many, like this division was so strong and the ratings were so high, and the women in NXT, they let them work 20-minute matches, and people are into it and standing ovations, and they want to see women fight. They want to see real stuff. Ronda Rousey is a very good example that women can fight. And who is at the top of the card? The girl. And you can do it. And I did a show in Georgia, and it was a special attraction. They didn't have much female matches. They put us main event, and people were into the match. And when I went to Albuquerque last July 18, it was the first female match. And the promoter wanted to bring. He's like, I want to bring wrestling, not the usual style we see on TV. I want to show them wrestling. And I was wrestling Crazy Mary Dobson. And standing ovation, please come back. And people were literally screaming, this is women wrestling. And same thing happened when I was wrestling ID Lovelace in Bloomington. Like, so many people came to see me. This is women wrestling. This is what we want to see. We don't want the 2-minute rolling around hair pulling. This is what we want to see. So there's definitely a public. Shimmer has been successful for years. There's a Shyness in Florida. WSU is doing its thing. There's such a great fan following of female wrestling, and I mean, we're getting booked because there's a demand. Like, if there wasn't a demand, there wouldn't have been women's wrestling. And actually, my match with Crazy Mary was voted match of the night by 41% of all the people, of all the matches on the card. Me and ID, we had a match of the night also. Like, it happens often that match of the night is one of the girls' match now, and people want to see it.
Yeah, because I think here, Bart's the originator, right? Because you're the only one that I can honestly say, and it's not because you're here and it's not kissing ass, so anybody listening that says, oh, David's kissing ass,
you're
not.
You trying to get booked, David?
I am. Damn it. Shit. No, I got to do other stuff. I want to hear.
There's been women's wrestling out here, yes, of course. Forever.
But you're the only one that showcases it, and I've never seen even when WWE was doing the bra and panties and the typical diva matches, you weren't doing the typical diva matches.
No, never have, never will. No, never will.
You know what? I'm not even against that if it involves managers or attraction.
Right.
I get that. Sex sells. A beautiful manager, fine, but I just think it should be separated from the wrestling. Mm-hmm. You have two managers going at it. There's a cat fight. Hey, money, whatever.
Yeah, that's part of the storyline.
Yeah, it works, But when you announce women's wrestling,
right.
I think that's what it should be, and that's one thing about Bart. He features the women as main attractions of his shows. They're on the poster. Ray's is fighting guys. She had an amazing match with Willie Mack. And I mean,
and I've seen it.
And that was last minute on the spot.
Yeah, they're treated as equal athletes, like equal opportunity ass kicker Rays, and I love working for companies like that where I don't feel like I'm. It's the P spot of the car. Like, no, you're an attraction. You're one of the main thing. And even last time I went to Alpha Omega, we were the semifinal, and we had so much time that we were a featured attraction. So yeah, there's room for good women wrestling.
But back to PWG then. Why do you think PWG doesn't capitalize right now that the women are hot? Hot looking. I mean, hot as an attraction right now.
I can't speak for them.
I'm saying, why do you think
they
more
have their,
won't go that route to say, hey,
really don't know. I mean, they've had their selected few, and it seems like they're just sticking with that. But in general, back to your question, for women's wrestling out here, it took years to build it up. Like I said before, it just wasn't overnight. I mean, the very first women's tournament that I did, there was not a lot of people in the crowd. There just was not. But it took over years and building people up and getting to that point. Now it is a featured, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
My show was sold out.
Yeah, of the last 3 women's show tournaments here in Southgate have been sold out, packed. And prior to that, people were kind of criticizing me a little bit because in 2012 in July when I had come back, we put as the main event the women's title, Christina Von Eerie against Mischief. And they rocked that house. And that's, like I said, that's when Scott Hall and X-Pac, they came out and congratulated the girls. They said it was an awesome match. You know, we've built it up and showcasing that these are wrestlers. They're women, yes, but they're pro wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, without mentioning any names, do you think that's what's probably gotten you a little bit of heat? Do you think that's what's gotten some heat with some of the girls that might not be the greatest wrestlers?
People get jealous when they don't get what they want, whether it's money or a spot on the show. Some people feel that they're worth more than I think they're worth, so I don't have to book them. You know, I don't have to book them. If I don't think they're worth the money they're asking, I don't have to book them. If they think they're worth that much money, hey, go get it from somebody else.
Do you think have you felt jealousy because you're so over right now?
Like I said, I try not to get. Does it bother me if I hear someone talk shit when I think like I didn't say anything because I don't talk, and I'm like, I just try not to get involved. Like I'll get like I could get pissed off sometimes, but the thing with Bart is you have to get his humor. Like like I get along with Bart. We could talk about tits and dildos and ass all day, and then I'm like it's just humor. Like that's how I am. Like I make poop jokes nonstop and like or ass or like what you doing, a dildo up your ass or whatever. Stupid shit. Yeah. And we have the same humor, and I think sometimes. I've always considered myself one of the boys, so sex jokes or whatnot. I've been in this for so long. Like I've seen a lot of girls being offended, but that kind of, oh, he's talking sexy, wants to fuck me. I'm like, no, it's not because I made a comment about your huge. I'm saying boobs, but it could be anything. Even like there's some guys I'm like, oh, I got a bigger penis than you. Like there's a bunch of my opponents we just keep going around talking about how I got bigger balls and like whatever, and it's just like humor, just fun. And some people will think it's like it's really sexual. Maybe it is sometimes. I mean, I've met weird people in this business. Like it's not like not everything is good, but I mean.
Yeah, David. So don't take everything seriously. So show us your tits.
Show your tits.
Show your tits. Show your tits.
You have to pay me to show these bad boys. Okay.
Now, like in my case, I can click with anybody, but if somebody's going to get offended and be a prude about something, it's like, well, don't talk to me that way then, because if you can't handle it, shut the fuck up. Just don't talk to me that way, and we'll be fine. I don't have to talk about this or I don't have to talk about that. But yeah, you know right away when you click with somebody, and then there's some that could act like they're on that level, and then they'll turn their back on you and stab you in the back. Like, well, he said this, he said that. Oh, really? Well, what were you saying? What are you hiding? Well, it's all whatever. Who gives a shit?
I guess it's part of the territory. I guess.
High school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a
high school again.
It's okay.
And a lot of people will say anything, and then when they don't get what they want, they'll turn their back on you. Whatever.
Are we gonna see you? I know you said you won't, but if they, I think you should open your school back up.
I'll see.
I think you have a lot to contribute. A lot.
I'm not gonna say where you're living at right now because I don't know where you live.
I live in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
No, if you want to.
Are you planning to stay there for a long time, or are you planning to maybe try out California?
I love California, but right now, like I work in Dayton, and if anybody wants to hire me as a graphic designer here and give me a word, I could move.
I'm gonna say something here. Now that you're doing AWS as graphics and all that stuff, I'm just curious. Do you know if he's gonna return or not?
I hope so, but I think once in a while we all need a break. Right. Like I needed that break back in 2000 and I think it was 12 or what, when I had that feud with Melissa after. Like, I wanted to quit so bad before, and then that feud happened, and it changed my mind. But I still needed that. I took like 4 months out of the business because I needed to breathe and do something else.
I think we even had to put off a match that I was trying to book you for because of injury. We were waiting for the knee surgery, right?
I heard, but then my knee surgery, I was supposed to be out for 9 months. And after
She's
3
like,
months,
I didn't have the surgery. I'm ready to wrestle.
well, I did have the surgery, but I was supposed to be out for 9 months. But after 3 months, I was in the ring.
That's low.
Well, one thing for sure, you have a tremendous story. I think you should do a book.
I don't know.
Lufisto
You
tells
can design
all.
your own cover.
I could.
They're on the cover, and you can put all the dicks, dildos, jokes in there, all you want.
Rated R. No, if I would write a book, that's funny because I'm reading The Dirt by Motley Crue right now, and they're literally like writing the way they talk. Like Tommy Lee keeps saying "fucking" and "come on, dude." I'm like,
They wrote the book like that?
oh yeah, it's him talking, and then I was fucking this chick like huge titties, and she was spreading her cum everywhere. Dude, it was amazing. And then you read it.
Just a little pre-ejaculation.
Oh yeah, I was like, I would have to write my book like this, like, because I swear way too much. So like, that's why every time, can you cut a promo? It's like, oh, is it PG here? I'm like, oh, no, you can say, oh yeah, I can say fucking motherfucker, I'm good. No, I can cut a promo without that. I feel more like myself.
Since you're in Ohio, you know, if you want to send some Cleveland Indians stuff my way, over here, you know, since they don't have
Cleveland's a
any.
little far though. Dayton's like 2 or 3
Yeah,
hours.
well, I'm sure they might have a little more than here.
I'm a Blackhawks fan, just saying. Chicago, anything. Send it my way.
CM
Yeah, I'm a
Punk. No hint,
traitor.
CM Punk.
I'm a traitor apparently because they're like, you're from Montreal, you should like the Canadians or Columbus, and then you like Chicago. I'm like, they've been kicking ass for years. Oh, who's the champion? I'm sorry, who won last year? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not the Tampa Bay Lightning.
No, but they were close. They were close.
I don't know. Didn't they get killed the first game?
No,
Was it the first game?
They beat the. Oh, I mean, yeah, the final match, but they did get to the finals. I mean,
They couldn't hang with those Blackhawks.
no, they're. Have you seen the Blackhawks live? They're
Not never live,
so
but-
much bigger than like I've seen them against the Kings, I've seen them against the Ducks, and I've seen them against other, like I've been there 4 or 5 times I think, and every time they're so much bigger than the other team. It's like crazy. It's like, oh, those monster, like, okay, probably not Zeno Chara from Boston, but I mean they're pretty big. Yeah.
That's, on TV they look pretty.
Mhm.
They're scary.
Yeah, they
that
are.
team is scary. Well, you are in town this weekend, like we said, for
Victorville for Alpha Omega Wrestling, and I'll be defending my championship against Nicole Savoy.
Nicole Savoy.
And how long are you going to be here till?
I'm here from today until I leave Tuesday. Hopefully my flight will be delayed because it's burning.
Is Bart going to take you to the beach later?
I don't know if we're going to go to the beach.
They're going to Dave and Buster's to
No,
beat up
definitely
some
killing
clowns.
some fucking clowns. Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you!
Well, last time we were there, we all scored like 500 pointers. And
Oh
stuff,
my
huh?
God, we made so many tickets. I got a Batman watch.
Oh, you go to the one in Hollywood?
Nah, I hate fucking Hollywood.
Well,
I hate Hollywood.
Hollyweird?
There's nothing there anymore.
I need to go back.
I only work there at night.
We go at the
Yeah,
Orange,
that's
right?
part.
Oh.
I'm so hungry.
Let me see if I can get out of work. Can you let everybody know your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
My Twitter is @Lufisto. My Instagram is @Ronin Lufisto. Lufisto.com, you can get all that. And Facebook is facebook.com/Lufisto. That's my fan page. I have a private page, but I don't allow anyone. So, no, but seriously, go on my fan page. I do answer everybody.
Now,
Hey, don't forget the latest Twitter account too that you're gonna be having.
Oh yeah, the Cockatoo, Kapitsky, it's coming. The Myth, the
it's
Legend.
coming.
Literally.
That's the crew. It's
Coming
coming.
soon. Wow.
Coming soon.
Now,
Coming
now
soon,
what I
the Cooter
what I
News.
noticed earlier today, is there a fake Twitter account, or do you have 2 Twitter accounts for Lufisto?
There's only
2
one.
of them came up when I was posting something today.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know which one was which.
It's at Lufisto.
Until I saw Bart actually post it.
Really, I have to look at that. Oh,
I tagged both of them just for
really
for promoting reasons. But yeah, I noticed a new one. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Yeah.
What's the thing with fucking people?
Is this right?
This is me.
Oh. I want to say.
Unless, let's.
Before we wrap up, let's see if we find the fake Twitter.
It's Butcher.
It's Butcher. Damn, Butcher.
Stop. Bart, do you have anything you want to say, like for the next show this coming month?
Oh yeah, our next AWS show is on August 29th here in Southgate, just 2 miles away from the store here. You can go online, get tickets through PayPal. We got a huge card again. Willie Mack, the champion, defending his belt against Papadon, the Greek god from the East Coast.
Nice.
We got J.D. Dunn going up against Tyler Bateman.
Wait a minute. Papadon's the Greek god.
Greek god Papadon.
I thought that was me.
Oh, goodness.
No, that's the geek god.
You lied to me.
That's
You told me you're going to...
Buffy one.
And then, like you heard yesterday with Los Luchas, they're going up against B-Boy and Cholo for the AWS Tag Team
Oh,
Championships.
wow.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Oh, my God. This guy fucking... Oh, it's a faux follow.
A fan one?
The anime, pro wrestler, stars, lover, and handbanger, and crazy cat lady. Faux. Follow the real at Lufisto.
So it's a fan site.
Yeah.
But without
It gets a
permission.
little creepy sometimes when people do that, I would say.
Just a little.
Oh,
I have my
fake
favorite.
Lufisto is talking to fake Masada.
I wonder how that
Oh yeah, I knew about that because apparently I was going out with fake Masada for a while. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Wow.
Oh man,
Awesome.
people.
We've been heartbroken today. You have a fake Twitter account.
I know.
I thought I was the Greek god.
Yeah.
God bless you. I found out I'm the
I'm
geek
allergic
god.
to all these fake accounts. Jesus.
And the Butcher's supposedly a wrestler.
Oh.
So make sure you guys...
I was right now at the door. I just felt myself out of body experience. Just
Make sure you guys
Bodies.
check that damn pinata. Comes
Wait a
back.
minute. Before we go, how can you repeat that again? Fuck you again.
Bashi.
Yes, that'll be your farewell.
Make sure you guys check out AWS on Facebook to make sure you guys get your tickets on PayPal. They can PayPal you at 8.
Hey, they could just PayPal me money. They don't even have to buy tickets.
PayPal them money if you want. What is it? AWS the boss at
Yep.
PayPal, right?
At
yahoo.com.
Yep.
And don't follow the fake Lufisto. Follow the real Lufisto.
At Lufisto.
At Lufisto.
Lufisto.com.
Thank you again, Lufisto.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
are awesome. The sexy accent along with the Spanish. And I'm pretty sure she told me to go to the back.
Yep, I have a fashak. Sorry.
Bashi.
Vashik!
It doesn't
I
sound...
fucked that up too.
It doesn't, you know what? Before we wrap up... Oops.
Now I'm throwing things.
I got
We're
disappointed.
talking French, and there's a
Oh,
stand-up of Maurice.
Maurice.
She understands everything I'm
She's
saying.
telling you Vashik.
Yeah, Bashi. Bashi.
It doesn't sound sexy coming out of you, Butcher.
Don't worry about it. Trust me. It's not supposed to.
For the Butcher, Engineer Roy, who is in love right now, who hasn't said anything, look at that smile.
Oh, good.
That smile
Biggest
hasn't gone
Colgate
away.
smile. Come on, bro. Just say it. Show me your tits. Show me your tits.
For all of us here at the Wrestling Hype Podcast, thank you very much, and we are
Out.